We are live. Let me turn my little fan. Turn my little fan on. Yes. So I'm trying to. Normally I just dive right in, but I'm gonna try to wait for some people to join. So thank you for. This is the first official episode of our Sunday Cervix Sermons. So yes. So join, y'all. All right. I'm trying to find a good spot for the camera. I think this is good. I can't find my, I have this little clicker that, so basically I can hold it and operate the camera and things like that. I don't know what I did with it. It's around somewhere. So for now, I'm gonna have to be pressing buttons, but that's okay. And when y'all come in, let me know where y'all coming from. Let me know where y'all at. You know, where in the world are you? Yes. So I'm here under this is my little outdoor fort that I've made for me and Oreo, my dog. Yes, thank you, and thank you so much to everybody who watched the replay. So this is going to be my goal, my plan, right? Is this for this to be a series that right now is on Conscious Creations. Eventually, I want to get to a place where I share it on my Hips and Gnosis channel. That's Hips and Gnosis, Gnosis. I let the website go because I started a podcast called Hips and Gnosis. That is still I still have the domain Hips and Gnosis, but I'm going to bring it back and probably turn this into a podcast or something of the sort because what we're talking about is important. It's very, very important. And so I see these conversations that we're having online as women, um, generally speaking, about the things that we did not know when we were little girls and growing up into becoming women, things that we didn't know about our own bodies. And so this is why I'm having these conversations that, again, SunDay Cervix Sermons, right now at Conscious Creations Live on YouTube. And I'll probably post it also on the Instagram channel, which is also Conscious Creations Live. Um, but I know that generally on Instagram, you can't post the whole video. So what I'll do is I'll post what I can on Instagram. So if you're watching this on Instagram, thank you so much. Make sure y'all subscribe, and to watch the full video, go to the YouTube channel with the same name. And if this is your first time meeting me, coming across me, my name is Tisha, and I do uh, I do several things. Um, and what you're finding right now, you're finding me either on my Conscious Creations channel, or one of the other platforms that I've shared it on. So generally speaking, I'm a creator. I do many things. I create many things. I do many things. And it's hard to, what is the word? The word I'm here is navigate, but that's not really accurate. It's not navigating so much as saying this, I am this, right? Because I am me. I am me. And I am goddess. I am creator. I am a conscious creator. You know what I mean? I am a root worker. I am lawyer. I am pet parent to a dog. I am many things. Um, and that's one of the beautiful things about being in this space for me, is that one of the things that I've seen is that as women, again, hence the importance of these conversations, but as women, so often we view ourselves, or we've been taught and trained and conditioned to view ourselves from a particular perspective, meaning how from the perspective of other people, in that how you show up should be in direct reflection or representation of what you have to offer for someone else, right? How are you as a mother? How are you as a wife? How are you as a sister? How are you as a daughter? Right? And one of the things that gets lost, I believe, in that perspective is you, is me, is us. It's who you are in all of your wholeness, in all of your completeness, in all of your, if I did not have to, if it were not about how I'm showing up for someone else, how would I show up? Right? Your authentic self. And that's really what I want to, that's what this series is all about, showing up as women, as womb bearers, showing up as your whole self and your authentic self. Because I realize that there's so much that goes into, hurting us, right? Individually and collectively, hurting us into a perspective. Um, and at the same time, not really giving full value and credence to all that you are and all that it means to be a womb bearer. What does that look like? Um, so there's so much, y'all. There's so much to say, and this is why I want to start in this place of what I'm doing, literally what I'm doing right now, which is why I love having these conversations, because it really is an opportunity just to be in my zone, right? And so that is being out in nature. And so also what I'm doing is being out in nature. I am making sure that I am oiling myself. So this is actually a Conscious Creations massage oil that is also, it's a lymphatic drainage and massage oil. And it is called My Revenue is Internal. It is available at consciouscreations.live, because I wanted to be on time for y'all. So I was like, I'll just put on my oil while I'm live, just hanging out. But it's important to make sure that your skin is hydrated and moisturized. So I know y'all, I be going off on these tangents, but I trust me when I say it really is all connected. Because one of the things that is so important is just remembering your skin, right? The largest organ on your body. But I realized how much we go, right? We go, we do, we perform, we show up, we exist in all of these different spaces. But how much time do we actually take to be with ourselves, right? To get to know ourselves, to really talk to ourselves and ourselves, right? Because all of this really is on a cellular level, on a cellular level. And so what you are putting on your skin is going to affect the largest organ of the body. And that's going to impact the way that information is communicated through your cellular network, right? And your hair is an extension of your nervous system. So what you put on your scalp, what you are washing your brain with, right? For real, right? How you are conditioning, how are you being conditioned? What are you putting on your scalp? What are you putting on your hair? What's being absorbed into your bloodstream? And what is that communicating to you on a cellular level? And it's wild, because once you really, really start to slow down and really pay attention to you and to your body, to how you feel, to how your skin feels, right? When you touch yourself, like literally, I'm sitting here putting oil on my body, right? And how do you feel? How does your skin feel? Is it soft? You know, does it feel, is it hardened? Right? Does it need extra love? Right? And what does that feel like? When you put on whatever you put on your skin for moisturization and hydration, what does that feel like on your skin? Like really taking the time to sit with you, taking the time to really get to know you, to really feel yourself, to really feel yourself. Um, And so this is why sunbathing and solar yoni steaming has become such an important aspect of my spiritual journey, or just my journey, period, right? Because I feel like, because when the sun touches my skin, like I feel this energy, I feel the energy of the sun feeding my cells. You see what I'm saying? And taking the time to truly be present and to receive the information that the solar rays are providing to me on a cellular level. And it's funny because I remember, like, first of all, y'all, if y'all don't know, I am a August baby, August Leo, right? The August type, the August type. So shout out to all my Leos out there, making sure the sun keeps shining. Um, but y'all, my little, see, this is what I've been talking about with the little camera stuff, y'all. Oh, it got a lot closer. That's okay. Y'all get up close and personal. Um, but yeah, so growing up in Florida, in the Sunshine State, in the summer, you know what I'm saying? Like, it, being in the sun is it's a real thing. Like being outside in the sun, it's a different sun. It's a different sun, y'all. And so, but being able to sit out in the sun, but let me back up, because it's so much is coming to me, especially because I'm right here. Um, But I remember when I was a kid, though, because that's when we used to go outside and have PE. I don't know if the kids have PE, physical education, anymore in schools. I don't know what they do in these streets. But we used to go outside and have PE. And let me tell you something. I remember being outside and being a kid, and hot as fuck outside. Hot. And so we would be out there playing dodgeball and kickball and jump rope and double dutch and all the things. And child, I remember there was this one time. Y'all remember tetherball, where you tie a ball to a string, and you tie it. The ball is on a string, and it's tied to a pole. It's hanging from a pole, and each team, you're going, side to side, trying to get the ball to tether around. Esoteric, all of it. Anyway, you're trying to get the ball to tether around a pole, right? And that is the objective of the game. There was this one particular time, and if y'all went to school with me, if you remember that, then let me know. And listen, that really happened. But anyway, I blacked out. I blacked out, and so that's when, like, y'all remember, like, the blacktop, like the outdoor equipment, outdoor schools, and probably not everywhere, but this was in Florida. So we literally had a blacktop. So the concrete, not concrete, I guess the asphalt, was black. So we're talking a lot of heat penetrating on this, on this asphalt and bouncing back up. You see what I'm saying? But anyway, so yeah, blacked out. So but I used to love being outside. I love being outside. But it's funny because as I grew up, right? As I grew up, I remember, all these conversations where, people would talk about, oh, I don't want no dark skinned babies. People in my family said it. Y'all know who I'm talking about. You know, I don't want no dark skinned babies. I can't be out in the sun, too long, and I can't be out here getting black. And I feel like, y'all, now knowing what I know now, I feel like it was this level of self-hate that just gets perpetuated when you are disconnected from nature, right? When you're disconnected from the sun, when you're disconnected from the trees, when you're disconnected from the mother, right? From Mother Nature. You truly forget what is source. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, you truly forget where your food actually comes from. You forget where your nourishment actually comes from. You forget, right? And so, girl, let me tell y'all something. It's so much, but this is why I'm having these conversations, because I've learned so much over this journey, and that I've come to so much, that I've come to know, that I've come to truly appreciate. And I know that, y'all know what I'm talking about. That's why you're here. You know exactly what I'm talking about. But being out in the sun is so key because copper colored beings, let's think about what copper actually is. So if you know anything about electricity, or if you own a home, or if you've seen a house being built, or you've heard stories about copper wiring, people stealing copper wiring out of houses, stuff like that, because it is valuable. And one of the biggest mind fucks is getting copper colored beings to literally believe that they are less than anything, right? Because in the same way, copper is necessary to ground and conduct electricity, to allow electricity to flow through a home, to ensure that you don't have live wires that would then burn the house down. Copper grounds the energy. You see what I'm saying? But when you are disconnected from copper and from that darkening, right? When you are disconnected from the solar energy that your body receives through that solar energetic current, and also not receiving, the proper amounts of copper in your diet, or I should say in your livet, in your everyday living experience, right? This is what causes these deficiencies, um, these energies and feelings of lack, because nutritionally, that is what's happening. Your body is being depleted by way of all the ways you have to give, all of the ways you have to show up, without really giving attention to your own body, to what is energizing your body, to what is feeding your cells, to what is powering your house. You see what I'm saying? Um, and so we see this not just on the scale when it comes to, owning a house, like a physical house that you live in, but also the recognition and the remembrance that this is also the house that you live in. And so sunbathing, sunbathing. Now I must say this, and I in all honesty, I am not one I don't wear sunscreen. I don't do that, right? What I do is what I just showed you, right? I create oils, and I make oils and ritual oils, body butters, things of that sort. And that is what I use that's what I put on my skin, right? I have not had any issues. Now I can't tell you what to do and what your body requires. You do what you do what you do, right? I'm just telling you what I do and what has proven to work for me. So um so yeah, but anyway, so I do that. And the reason that I do that is because when you go outside, if you do not have a certain, I'm talking specifically to melanated folks, the copper colored beings, right? Because I don't know any other experience, right? Um, it's so necessary to make sure that your skin is hydrated. One, because what degeneration is simply, it really is on a cellular level, because the cells become dehydrated. That is what creates a lot of the situations that happen, because it starts with what you put on your skin, what you put in your mouth. So layering, moisturizing, hydrating. So part of that also includes, like I said, externally, but also internally. So when it's really, really hot, one of the things is, yes, drink lots of fresh spring water. Obviously, if you live by a spring, that's great. But if not, I'm not even gonna do, because I'm not being paid for it, and I don't know the people like that. But what I do know is the water that I drink. This is the water that I drink, like, for real, for real. Now, if there's a situation where I cannot get to the store and or they're out of the water, out of this particular water, what I will do is I will do tap water, but then I also add lime to the tap water. Sometimes I also add lime to the spring water. But specifically, if I have to drink tap water, I make sure that I add lime to it because minerals, nutrients, electricity, to bring life, to give life, to spring forth, right? Um, from the waters. And so it helps when we're talking about programming yourself on a cellular level. Because what this really is all of it is cellular reprogramming. Because like I said, everything that you put on your skin, what you put in your hair, what you put, everything, it programs your cells a certain way. And so a lot of these companies that we grew up buying our products from, they didn't actually give a fuck they didn't care about what they put in their products as long as they were making a profit. And so years later, we discovered that those things caused endocrine system blockages. They caused things like cancer. They caused dis-ease, right? You know what I'm saying? They caused all number of things because they were literally creating blockages in the body. So rather than the blood being able to flow the way that it does, it would coagulate. It would coagulate in such a way to create blockages, right? Other things like your cells trying to protect themselves, and so tissue hardening. So you know what I mean. So because it really is, it's a lifestyle. It is a lifestyle. And I understand that sometimes it can be, if you don't know, you don't know, right? And so this is why how I show up is to make sure that I share with people the things that I didn't know until I knew. You know what I'm saying? Because me sharing these things with you all is to help so that you don't have to overcome particular things because now you have the awareness and you can do something to make it, to change things. So yeah, so take a look at that. I can't remember the name of the what's the website, y'all? There's a website, but look up endocrine disruptors. Google endocrine disruptors because that's a big thing in the cosmetic industry, or whatever in the skincare, right? Putting things on your skin. But look at what's called endocrine disruptors because that's literally what they do. So with that being said, this is again making sure that your blood is flowing properly, that things are flowing properly throughout your body, and that because what happens is, like I said, on a cellular level, it helps to make sure that you're maintaining that natural connection that you have with the earth, with the sun, with the stars, with the cosmos, and not having anything blocking or disrupting that frequency. It's supernatural because it's natural. It's a natural frequency that has been distorted. Do you see what I'm saying? Okay. So now with that being said, now we talk about the internal hydration because as we know, water is powerful. Water is life. We were all birthed from waters, from fluids. And so the water that you are consuming, the water that you are drinking, it's important. I'm not here to tell you what brand of water to drink. That's not what this is about. But what it is about is making sure that your cells are properly hydrated, like I just said. So yes, water, but water is H2O. On a cellular level, your cells need a deeper level and layer of hydration. This is where you get things like watermelon, seeded watermelon. The seeds are where the information is. Seeded watermelon, seeded cucumbers, seeded, like honeydew melon, cantaloupe, coconut. Why? Because all of these are natural food sources that also are a natural source of structured water. And your body needs that because without structure, water is it can naturally be overwhelming and chaotic and all of these things. And so when you have structure, it helps to give that natural internal um, chaos. It helps to bring order to that chaos. And we can do that on a cellular level through having foods and things like that that are actually structured and bring that level of structure to the cells. Um, and teas are also very, very good for this. So I have several different teas available on the Conscious Creations website at consciouscreations.live. Because what you do, and because I know I talked about sunbathing and solar yoni steaming. So here, now let me say this, because lesson learned. So literally sitting out, being able to sit out in the sun as women, naked. Now, again, obviously, you do it in the comfort of your space. So hopefully, but in it, that's one of the things that we're doing, y'all. This is one of the things that I'm doing, and that we are doing as a community, is creating a dedicated wellness space, or a committed wellness space, that a physical location, right, that people can come to, and all of these things that I'm talking about. So it's going to have a space where, if you so choose, you can come and do solar yoni steaming. Now, here's what I'm going to say about that. So drinking herbs and things like that. Also, aloe water, not aloe water, but yes, aloe water, right? But also okra water. Okra water is very, very good. Thank you so much to Queen Afua. If y'all are not familiar with Queen Afua, it's Queen AFUA, and she has been teaching wellness to women for, I think she said, over 40 years. I am so grateful for her. I'm actually, trying to get myself together so I can, work with her on what it is that she's doing on her platform as well. Because yes, absolutely, these conversations about womb wellness are so, so key. And we'll dive into that, all of the deeper level stuff in the Goddess Temple. So I'll talk to y'all about that at the, towards the end of the video. But the reason these things are important is because as you are outside, as you're absorbing the sun, like I said, making sure that you're hydrated on a cellular level, these are the things that are going to help to hydrate your body internally, so that when you are sunbathing and doing your solar yoni steams, you're actually being able to, to cleanse, out your body, to cleanse your cells and things like that. So it's a natural detoxification process. Now, I've learned you can't expose your yoni, your womb area, very, very sensitive, ladies, as you probably know. So I wouldn't expose it naked to direct sunlight for any longer than maybe 5 minutes max. 5 minutes max. And that's just me. That's just me. I don't know how everybody else do, but that's just me. I'm like, okay, that's my limit. But like I said, it's still being outside in the sun and being able to, you know what I'm saying, to process all of these things that I'm saying. All of those things have value, because it's so necessary to decolonize your cells. Because as I stated, what we've lived in a society where everyone, generally speaking, the people that control the resources that we use and depend on for everyday life have not always looked like me. And that has to change. And that is changing. That's why we're here, right? Because your cells require what they require. That means there's no compromise in that. Do you know what I mean? Your ability to exist requires certain things, and you must have access. You must have that. You must have access to that, right? It is a basic necessity. You see what I'm saying? And so we're not playing that game. So everything I'm saying to you is why I'm saying what I'm saying to you, because it's bigger than just sunbathing, right? It is cellular decolonization. It is cellular purification from lies, distortions, illusions, and untruths that have lived within the cellular memory of so many of us for generations. And this is how we honor and turn on our ancestral intelligence, is through reconnecting with what we've always known to be real, to be natural, to be nature. to be cosmic level advanced intelligence. And you are that. You've always been that. And this is the time for you to remember that on every single level, on every level, because there's levels to this shit. Now, go to consciouscreations.live, check out the different oils, tinctures, body butters, all of the things. Now, right now, butters for me, butters are a little thick right now because of the level of heat. Now, what I do recommend oils. And so on Conscious Creations, we have several different oils, but at Madame Wheel, which is our crossover, I guess, our crossover brand, and that's MADAMEHUILE. That stands for the Lady of Oils, or the Oil Lady. Now, what I did there is, this is our luxury oil, body oil, and ritual oil and tincture company. And that is what we do, as well as educate you on why we do what we do. So visit that website as well, because you can get larger size, because there are our largest size body butter is an 8 ounce, because I mean, not body butter, body oil, because it's, it's not little, it's not the little, generally, like, the little oils that we have are more so for your hands, for your feet, and things like that, but they're not really body oils that we have generally at Conscious Creations, unless they specifically state. They're more like massage oils and things like that. So there's a different selection on the Madam Wheel website. All of this is important, y'all, because this is about restoring your cellular memory, and restoring your cellular memory to what is and has always been, and truth. And that is that abundance is your birthright. Abundance is your birthright. And so reconnecting with nature is that reminder. It helps to give you that reminder, that remembrance of who you actually are. And so one of the things I'm also there. I know that, girl, is so much stuff that is it's coming, that I've been working on behind the scenes, while I've been doing what I do, y'all. And I love it. I'm so grateful. Y'all should see it, because, like, my mom always laughs at me, because she's like, "You always so happy." She's like, "You always excited." And it's true, y'all. It's because I truly enjoy what it is that I do. I truly do, because I've found this space. Exactly. I found this space and this place within myself, within my own being, where I realize that I can rest. Like, I can rest in this level of peace or wholeness. Like, I can rest here. I can create here. I can build here. I can do something here. You know what I mean? Um, and that only came because of what I didn't know, because I learned through what I was experiencing and what other people were experiencing, what I was experiencing in my own body, really learning how my body was feeling, and what she was saying to me. Um, because, ladies, disconnecting women from their intuition has been one of the biggest disservices that has occurred. But here's the thing: you have the power. It's your intuition. You have the power to learn how to reconnect with your own intuition again. Um, and no one has to trust your intuition, because it's your intuition. But what that means is, you also can't be deterred, derailed, and distracted from your path, because it's your vision, it's your intuition, it's your vision quest. You know what I mean? And it is your womb, it is your reality, it is your world to create. And so, for the women who have felt this primordial calling of the dragon energy, the dragon frequency, um, today we are starting enrollment for the Dragon Wisdom Mystery School. You can go to my other website. I know y'all. Tisha Hillman, the TishaHillman.com. You can get there from there. I think it's under the More tab. And so what it is, it should be in the books and cohorts section of the website. So it is a 13-week cohort that begins August 1st. So you have to be a member of the Goddess Temple, and everything's on the website. So you have to be a member of the Goddess Temple because yes, having these SunDay Cervix conversations are amazing, but there are some things that require a different level of exclusivity for obvious reasons, right? But I do want to have these conversations because they're so necessary. Because the key to all of this is healing the womb, healing the womb, bringing women back into the seat of their intuition, to trusting themselves, because that is the trust fund. Trusting yourself, trusting yourself, and learning to listen to the voice of your own soul again, your own son, your own internal son again. But I'm looking forward to working with everybody. Listen, y'all, I hope that y'all are enjoying the sun, enjoying the summer, enjoying these beautiful days. And drop me a comment. Let me know what's your coochie feeling like? What's your coochie feel like? And again, shout out to my homegirl Pam, who asked me that question and threw me so far off because I was not expecting that. But it's exactly the conversation that I needed to have with myself, because that sent me on a journey and a quest to really discover, girl, what's your coochie feeling like? Like for real, what's your coochie feeling like? Um, and so make sure that you are feeling like hydration, that you are feeling like a well hydrated ocean, that you are feeling like generational wellness and generational wealth, that you are feeling like, you know, however you feeling, however you want to feel like, right? But it has always been up to you, and it always will be. So until next time, y'all, love yourself well, because guess what? You deserve it. Next week, same time, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, here on the Conscious Creations YouTube channel, SunDay Cervix Sermons, where we talking about all of the things. And we talking about, for the month of July, we're talking about what's your coochie feeling like? Because whether you have that conversation here or you have that conversation somewhere else, my sisters, the womb bearers, you must always ask yourself, what's your coochie feeling like? And be able to answer that question, because you are the portal of creation. See what I told y'all? Learning how to shut the thing off. What I told y'all.